Hi everyone, this is Toyeba from Tesla Creations. Today I'm going to be making this beautiful asymmetric chevron cowl. I'm making it to complement my asymmetric chevron headband. You can find the link to that tutorial in the description box below. That headband has 4 sizing options, so I'm just going to link it there. You can find the tutorial on my YouTube channel or watch or check the free pattern on my blog. So for this cowl size is for size teen or small adult. So for this cowl, I'm going to be needing worsted weight yarn, scissors, 5.5 mm hook, stitch markers, and also darning needle. So you can see the beautiful joining here is almost not obvious. So I'll just go ahead and show you how I made my cowl. So without further ado, let's get started. To start, I'm going to make a slip knot, and then I'll chain 47. So go ahead and chain 47, and I'll join you when I'm through with my 47 chains. So I've chained 47, so I'll start my row 1 now. I'll skip the first chain from the hook, and into the second chain from the hook I'm going to make a single crochet, and I'll mark my stitch. Then I'll make a single crochet into the next 15 stitches. So in all I'll have 16 single crochets. So go ahead and do that. Make sure you have 16 single crochets, and I'll come back to join to finish row 1. So I have 16 single crochets now. So into the next stitch I'm going to make 3 single crochets all in the same chain. 1, 2. I would like to mark the middle one just to keep track, and then make one more single crochet into the same chain. So we have 3 single crochet into the same chain there. So I'll continue and then make 1 single crochet into all the remaining stitches. So just go ahead and do that, and I'll join you at the end of row 1. So I'm through with row 1. I've made a single crochet into the remaining 29 chains. So moving on to row 2 now, I'm going to chain 1, turn. The chain 1 does not count as a stitch, and I'm going to make a single crochet 2 together into the back loops only. So I'm going to go into the back loop and start my single crochet, and then go into the next one to finish my single crochet 2 together. So I'll mark my first stitch, and I'll make a single crochet into the back loops only of each stitch till I get to the marked stitch here. So I should have 28 single crochet from here. So I'll just go ahead and make a single crochet into the back loops only until I get to the marked stitch here, and I'll join you at that point. So I've made it to the marked stitch, which was the middle stitch from the 3 single crochet I made into the same chain from row 1. So in total I have 29 single crochets, 29 stitches from this end up to this point. So I'm going to remove my stitch marker now, and I'm going to work into the back loop only, as I've been doing since the beginning of row 2. I'm going to go in there and make 3 single crochets into the back loop only. So that's 1, 2. I'm going to mark the middle one, which is the second stitch, and then 1 more into the same chain. And then I'm going to continue and then make a single crochet into the back loop only of each stitch till I get to the last 2 stitches. Just go ahead and continue making 1 single crochet into back loop only of each stitch. You should have 15. So I'll come back to show you how to finish row 2. So I'm about to finish row 2. I have 2 stitches left, so I'm going to go into this and start my single crochet 2 together into the back loops only. So, and then I'll go into the last stitch to finish my single crochet 2 together. So basically we start the row with single crochet 2 together into the back loops only on both ends. So moving on to row 3 now, I'm going to chain 1, turn, and then I'll start working to the back loop only. So I'll start the single crochet 2 together. Then I'll mark my first stitch. Then I'll keep working to the back loop only of each stitch until I get to the marked stitch here. So just go ahead and do that, and I'll join when I get to that point. So I've made it to this point, and in total I have 16 stitches from the beginning of row 3. So I'll remove my stitch marker, and as usual make 3 single crochet into the back loop only. 1, 2, I'll mark my middle stitch, and 1 more into the same stitch, 3, and then I'll continue with single crochet into the back loop only of each stitch till I have 2 stitches left. So I'll go ahead and do that, and I'll join you at the end of row 3. So I'm about to finish row 3. I have 2 stitches left, so I'm going to make a single crochet 2 together into the back loop only of the remaining 2 stitches. So I'll remove my stitch marker and then finish my single crochet 2 together. So with that, I'm through with row 3. So you can see that the shape is beginning to form. So I'll just keep repeating rows 2 and 3 over and over until I get to row 69. So just go ahead and follow the instruction for rows 2 and 3 on your screen, and I'll join you when I'm through with row 69. So I'm about to finish row 69. So to finish the row, I'm going to make single crochet 2 together into the back loop only of the remaining 2 stitches. So this is what my project looks like so far up to this point. So the next thing to do now is to close my cowl. So to do that, I'm going to chain 1, turn, and I'm going to join to the starting chain. So I'm going to go through the back loop only. So I go through the back loop here, I'll insert my hook into the back loop, and then join with the starting chain. So this is the first chain of the starting chain. So I'm going to go through this, then I'm going to slip stitch through both of them. Then I'll continue like that till I get to a stitch before the marked stitch. So I just keep going through the back loop of the stitches and then through the starting chain from the beginning, and then I'll slip stitch through both till I get to a stitch before the marked stitch, and I will join you when I get to that point. So continue going through the back loop and then the corresponding starting chain, and I will join you when I get to the marked a stitch before the marked stitch. So I've made it to a stitch before the marked stitch. I've joined 29 stitches so far. So to do the next stitch now, I'm going to go into the stitch before the marked stitch. I'm going to make single crochet 3 together. So I remove the stitch marker and then go into that 2, and then the stitch after the marked stitch. So I'm not going to finish the double crochet 3 together. I'm going to go into the corresponding starting chain. So this is the corresponding starting chain. I'm going to go into that, and then I'm going to pull through all of them. Then I'll continue going to the next stitch, which is this one, through the back loop and then the corresponding starting chain, and then I'll continue my slip stitch all the way to the end. So I'll just go ahead and finish that off camera, and I'll join you when I'm through with joining my cowl. So I'm through with sewing the cowl, and I've weaved in my ends. You can see that it's very neat. If you don't want to use slip stitch to join your cowl, you can just sew it together to the beginning and the starting chain with darning in it, but I just feel that the slip stitch looks neater. So the finished measurement is 8 inches for the height and the circumference is 23 inches. You can find the free written pattern on my blog, and this cowl has 4 sizing options. So I hope you enjoyed watching this tutorial. Hope to see you in my next one. Bye.